In our streaming-obsessed world, do you miss DVD commentary tracks? Well, fear not, because Ivan Fry, the most scorned critic on all of YouTube, I'm here to give you commentary tracks for the movies we love and sometimes those we love to hate. Tonight I got a pretty good one for us from 2022, The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson and the demonic hellspawn of Lisa Bonet and Lenny Kravitz. But before we get into it, I want to give a quick mention to my buddies over at CalderaLab.com, makers of the finest skincare for real men, not just vengeance. And by the way, our Pats definitely could have used the icon under his cowl in this movie. Use my promo code FRY15 to save 15% at checkout. Get comfortable, mates, because we have a long one in store for us. I've got me an IBC root beer. I know what I'm doing now. I'm not gonna bleed. Little crack and then a twist. And I have my popcorn, a big tub of popcorn, Himalayan sea salt, air popped, Orville Redenbacher, a little bit of butter from, the one where they took the Indian off of the box. Yeah, that. And we're going to watch this on Prime Video. I tried to get this to play in 4K. It's being stubborn. I don't think it will. And hopefully we're going to have this out there before Amazon stupidly decides to start including commercials alongside all of their stuff. So cue up to 0000 and hit play now. This is a movie that I saw in theaters, just over almost a year and a half ago. And I liked it. I do have issues. I do like the way it starts, though. It's simple, but in a way that is... It's really quite the inverse of something like Batman 89 or the vast majority of Batman films, for that matter. But it does get that title out there. Whereas, thanks to Marvel, we have to have the fun title sequence at the end of the movies. But I think it sets the tone. It tries to be blunt. Quite the slow burn. This takes some time to get through this movie. You'll probably have to get up and pee. I'm going to try to sit this the whole way. Saw some theaters, actually had to get up. I think it was easy to be confused as to what we were watching here, but now it's like, oh, it's a kid pretending to be a ninja. Okay, we got you. But it's not hitting you over the head with, hey, here's a dossier on this guy appearing on screen. Here's a voiceover. I have a number of little factoids that kind of my findings on the film, along with stuff that I haven't really seen come up. Is IMDb slagging off when it comes to the trivia section? Is too many people migrated to Letterboxd? Is that what happened? Now, I realize it's weird that Prime Video is hosting this movie, but it looks like garbage on Prime Video, to be frank with you. The blacks are crushed. You can see all this weird popping all over the place. It doesn't truly look even 1080p. The bitrate is just too low. Here we go. We got the young black lady. So we know she's for the people just because of identity. We'll get to the identity portion of this being problematic for the movie in a bit. Trying to figure out what volume I need to have this before it becomes an issue. Oh, it's the Riddler. Now, you got to try to make the Riddler scary in this. And really, the way they went about it was, and this was like one of the last comics of Batman I read, and this is a 20-year-old comic, that Batman Hush. It's very much like an adaptation with a few liberties taken of Batman Hush, where it's like, hey, there's a secret, a counterpart to Batman almost. Secret in the childhood. Yeah, okay, the guy's origin and motives switched up, but there are similarities. The Riddler, to most people, not quite top tier Batman villain. You know, just a rung below on the ladder. He's not the Joker. Joker's pretty much numero uno. But I think that we've got a side of the Riddler here where he doesn't care so much about riddling everybody. Clearly, this guy, we're going to make the riddle out of this guy's murder. Go ahead and try to solve this. So more so than, hey, he didn't solve the riddle, so now he's dead. We give him a lot of creepy vibes here. The breathing, I think it might be like a winter war mask of sorts. It's actually an actual kind of mask for winter combat. It might have been World War I or II. If you're watching along on a Prime Video, I'm sorry, because, man, this looks so bad with the just weirdly crunched blacks here. I'm sorry. And this is a very dark movie, so it's going to look kind of trash for most of the film. I think Arpat's made for a better Batman than I anticipated. I did not think he looked the part, and he really had a lot of feedback to go on from the people ahead of him to know what to do and what not to do. What he does well, not coming up with a weird-ass voice. Why are you trying to kill me? He doesn't do any of that. We get the impression Batman has been at this for maybe a year or so. I wonder if he's already had an encounter with and then subdued and arrested the Joker without really any mention of it. You see people on this train here with the face paint. Maybe they're part of the Joker's gang, huh? Is that a possibility? Affiliates? This guy's got like the half Joker face. Does that mean he's like not quite fully initiated? This guy over here is not Data from the Goonies. I don't mind the music. There are Batman scores that I prefer, but it's memorable. And we got to look at the cowl, the signal. I don't think these signals work that well. The light would wrap around it. It'd be diffused. You'd kind of just have like a blank spot in the sky. Uh-oh, the Batman's out there somewhere. I'm so scared. This movie did not win an Oscar. It got 3 nominations. I don't believe it got any for visual effects, but effects are pretty good in this movie. Anytime you pull off a convincing flood, I think that's quite impressive. This does seem to carry on some themes similar to the Joker film about social uprising against the elites. You know, people tired of working and not getting their fair share, that sort of thing happening. And so I would like to see if there was in some capacity a way that this could be linked up to Joker. As we have a second Joker film, we'll surely have the Batman 2, though I hope we have a more creative title by then. Here you are. You got to watch. Now you got to participate. This guy doesn't really want to be in the gang that bad. Now this does, I have mixed feelings about this. Is this a good intro for Batman? Kinda visually. I mean, there's something to walking out of the dark like this. It's the antithesis of his whole MO for how he operates, to be clunking about like you are trying to crawl through an air duct with magnets. Clink, clink. This is not the way a ninja from the shadows and silence would actually attack and subdue these guys. These guys should be like picked off in a manner in which they just turn around and one less of them's there. And it's almost like a magic trick. Instead, just straight up fighting all of them. Batman's supposed to be quite smart. This isn't really the tactical approach here. He says, I am vengeance. I'm not so sure Batman says that a lot. I'm not so sure he says that really before this movie, but then at some point after this, it seems like everybody acts like this. I've always heard him say, I'm Batman, right? It's not an awful fight. It's certainly slowed down compared to something of Batman Begins, where there's a lot of cut on action. So you would see almost a clip of the blow, then just straight cut to another. It would seem like he was hitting multiple people within fractions of a second. My brother saw Batman Begins in theater. I did not. And he found that really jarring. All right, well, I guess he's not joining the gang after all. Why would you think he wanted to hurt you? It's because you're Asian. Prime Video should be ashamed. This looks like it is... I'm watching it under a cheesecloth. It's just so trash. On Peacock last night, I watched Fate of the Furious. High def. Actually, that was in 4K with HDR. It looked pretty good. Pull up the stats on this. It says it's in 4K. It's not showing it to me that way. How do you guys feel about... Oh, gosh. I just forgot it. Tip of my tongue. Is it Jeffrey? Yeah. Not Jeffrey Rush. Jeffrey Wright. It's Commissioner Gordon. He's okay. I'm not... I mean, I'm saying he's okay, but at the same time, I don't condone the race swap because you know that the rules don't apply on the other foot. We do not get a White Panther. I almost want to do a stopwatch of time for Bruce Wayne versus time for Batman, this movie, it is certainly in favor of Batman. And I think some people, when people say this is their favorite Batman movie, I disagree, but I can understand the point. My favorite Mario game is actually a Yoshi game. Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island. You're really playing as Yoshi the majority of that game. It's a Yoshi game. Most of the good Batman movies, it feels like he is at times a supporting character in his own film, whether he's the titular character or not. I think that the lesson that the Batman learns here is to try to use the Bruce Wayne side to his advantage, rather than just acting like it's a formality. What can I use that next time? And next time around, he may be more interesting as Bruce Wayne. Huh? How does he know that? Of course, Batman has to know more about this than the detectives. If Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, Dark Knight Rises are an effort at grounding Batman to being more realistic, this seems to take it up a notch in the realism. At times, I felt like it's Batman in as if he were intervening with the movie Seven. It's good having a Batman movie that is a mystery. Even though everybody who paid for a ticket knows the Riddler's in it, the hero's got to catch up a little bit on him. We still don't know what his whole scheme and why, his motives. It's a riddle. We got to call this guy the Riddler. Not super crazy about R. Pat's Batman outfit. The trouble with all of them is they will grow on you. So it is very hard to have an initial take on what a good Batman outfit should be. As I say this, I think the ears are too far set back. It kind of makes for like a big forehead look. Not crazy about the collar. The gauntlets, seemingly just being a row of arrows. I'm not crazy about that either. Most of the rest of it I'm okay with. The logo, never mentioned in this film. It is theorized and probably, said elsewhere by the director or such. The gun that shot his parents, broken in half, melted into this bat logo. Well, kid lost his parents. Marlo lost his dad. I know the feeling, but I'm not going to tell him. So I'd give away my identity. Now, you'll notice there are some stitching points around the cowl, the mask, right? This is not a rubber. Well, actually, it's made to look like it is leather with the stitching, but it's actually rubber. Why? I'm not totally sure. It's possible that this is to get you to think that it's not mass-produced, that Bruce is doing this very clandestine. Maybe it's just him and Alfred working on the cowl, right? Why is it not leather? That I'm not sure. But they had so many movies with the rubber, so Real change, right? Hope and change. You're supposed to relate to the change guys. So you voted for the change guy, didn't you? Let's play some Nirvana that the kids don't know, but then they'll be told it's Nirvana, so they'll buy the t-shirt and get this some downloads over on the Spotify. I'm not a huge fan of the Bat Pod as featured in The Dark Knight and Dark Knight Returns. Or no, I'm sorry. Those movies have the worst stuff. The Dark Knight Rises. But for Batman to simply be on a motorcycle, I'm cool with. Especially when he's not being Batman at the time. When you have to have the cape, and they do CGI the cape, but it is pretty darn convincing. There's a lot of cape CGI in this movie. And they do a really good job with it, whereas in The Flash, they didn't. Of course, he has some gadgets, the context that this would be entirely impossible, as best I can tell. It's almost like the next evolution of GoPro right here. The GoPro lens for your contacts, yeah. See, it said year 2. He's still ironing things out. In part, I can kind of forgive the outfit, the costume not looking amazing. He's still working. He's got some work to put into it, right? I appreciate the mascara that he's got going on here, all the eye black, as one would have if they were wearing the costume. If you don't put the black paint around your eyes, your skin will show through there, and it will look funny. It will have a certain kind of look about it. Ideally, say the Batman 2, okay? I want to see the white iris, no eyeball, just all white right there, like in the comic books, as he's always shown in the comics, which is impractical, impossible, but the way they did it, I think it would be really cool. I do not like Andy Serkis as Alfred. I'm sorry, but he's so unhelpful and dismissive, and he's not he's sort of there to butt heads. It's weird. Like, it doesn't feel like he's helping at all. He wants to talk him out of doing anything. A much younger Alfred than we are accustomed to seeing. I think this is the youngest Alfred, like, possibly ever. Of course, we have a very emo look to Bruce Wayne here, especially once you have, like, all the eye stuff going, right? But the long hair, not crazy about it. I think he is unable to turn off the depression, but he will weaponize this persona. He'll make something of Bruce Wayne for the follow-up. Maybe be a dashing ladies' man. Of course, we have the Batmobile under wraps. I think we'll be making something of that this movie, right? Oh, forget the fact that we have the Batmobile everybody loves in The Flash and we never drive it. That was a smart choice. I didn't hate The Flash as much as many people, particularly the Marvel fanboys. It's just not it's like on the par of the usual Marvel crap. This is quite a ways up, the Batman. It's weird not having Wayne Manor, yet having essentially a penthouse that is exceedingly gothic. Days in the Circus. Is this a bit of foreshadowing? We're going to see some ass kicking out of Mr. Likes to dress up as a monkey and then act out and not get nominated for any awards because he's never on screen, huh? Why is Andy Serkis here? Matt Reeves. He picked up where they left off with the Planet of the Apes as they were rebooting that, the James Franco, all that. Must have struck a chord here with star of those films, Andy Serkis. I guess star, but of sorts. It's kind of like the most famous of the motion actors, if you think of it. So brings him along his next project here. Matt Reeves also did Cloverfield. I distinctly recall when Cloverfield came out, he got no credit whatsoever for that. Everybody seemed to be under the assumption J.J. Abrams made that movie. All this on a mayor's salary? Probably not. A lot of detective work. Thankfully, Batman's not really a detective, so he doesn't have to fill out paperwork endlessly if we wanted, that level of realism in our Batman movie. Huh? What's USB? Got some dogs barking. I'm sorry if it picks up. Not my dog's neighbor. Oh yeah, he's a real joker, this guy. I've seen this movie approximately 1.5 times. I rewatched the part that I missed when I had HBO Max. The Iceberg Lounge, of course. I wonder who owns that place. I like this bit here where it's like he has a hard time getting in, but he takes the front door, though Batman shouldn't have to take the front door. It's kind of funny. It's just the right amount of levity this movie needs to avoid being a joke. We got to have a club fight, man. John Wick is like, hey, we got to have a club fight in John Wick. Yeah, look how much money they made. People want fights in clubs. Let's do it with Batman too. And of course, the key to the club fight is the patrons, the customers. They just keep dancing. A lot of faith in that, in his reflexes there, throwing that pipe. And here we are, Colin Farrell as the Penguin. Mixed feelings about this. What's with the gal's face? Somebody beat the snot out of her and then they go to the club? All right. Zoë Kravitz at the height of her powers right here. This shot. Good entrance. Mr. Vengeance, right. I wonder how Zoë Kravitz got the job as Catwoman. Would it help that her father-in-law is Aquaman? That her mom is famous, her dad is famous? Would these be contributing factors? All right, I said stepfather at the time. And then once she's Catwoman, it's like, Mom, hey, I don't need you with that guy anymore. I got the job, so like, you can just dump him if you want, even though he's sexiest man alive at the time. Telling you, we need limitations on parts. Once you're a comic book character, you can't be another one. It's just insane. She had her chance with X-Men First Class. Colin Farrell, he's okay as Penguin. He's not too terribly over the top. Slightly eccentric. There's personality there. Is it necessary to put him in a fat suit when you could get any number of rotund actors to do this? Who are going to pretty much do about the same quality of job? I don't know if it's that necessary. And it's a convincing look, but if one of the selling points is that you want to see Colin Farrell, but he looks and sounds nothing like Colin Farrell, then is that appealing? Does that put butts in seats? My mom really into Colin Farrell. I don't think she realized he was the Penguin. Baby, what's wrong? The girl in the pictures is her friend, roommate, something like that. But we kind of get an impression that maybe Catwoman plays both sides of the field. She lines up on offense and defense. Putts from the rough. Not the first time we do this with Catwoman in a movie. She had that, was it Juno Temple? Was kind of a friend, a very close personal friend in The Dark Knight Rises. Oh. Spying on these people. But this time it's our Pats, not Riddler. When you have windows like this, Do you even have blinds? I hope the jacket's coming off. Oh, man. Why does she have to stand behind the brick? That's what he's thinking. What? The hair's a wig? I mean, I'm telling you, that wig worked for her. It did. There's cats. Wait, what's going on here? I'm not a huge fan of her having this role, and I feel like she probably injected what we'll come to see the politics into this just out of nowhere. Just, oh, we have to have a politics line so that we're on the right side of history, right? You know, one of these sort of things. She's got some good moves. I could learn something. And a bike. I can follow her on my bike. Then she'll notice me. If I recall correctly, there was an alcohol of some kind. And she was like the spokesperson for them. It was like, there was a Super Bowl ad. And it was just like, most people have no idea who the hell she is. And yet she's billed as the celebrity endorsement. Just really seemed to have forced her way onto the American public. I like her Catwoman outfit. It's not trying too hard. Hell, it's not even like she intentionally put ears on here over this mask. It's kind of just the shape it holds. You ever have, like, you put on a t-shirt and it kind of has like a spot that sticks up like you have a horn on your shoulder? It's just kind of woven that way. Oh, let's fight. She's trying. Oh, she got some moves, Batman. I turn you on. Does she have claws? Annika, that's it. That's her very good friend. Oh, we had police watching the crime scene, sorta. I heard somebody was making out pretty hard here, or possibly fighting. I'm gonna go look. Nah, it's nothing. I don't turn on lights either. Got flashlight. It's more dramatic. Yeah, I've been watching you. You don't have blinds. You have massive windows. What are you gonna do about it? Maybe call blinds galore. In this film, Catwoman is very much an ally to Batman. It changes sometimes mid comic book, mid movie, mid video game. She can be an ally or a bit of an enemy. Maybe at first an enemy turned an ally. But there's a lot of flexibility with Catwoman. Really, Batman is probably most people's favorite comic book character. He's kind of like the perfect hero. You can do so much with him. His villains, they can be whatever you need them to be too. He's got the best rogues gallery. Uh-oh, post on social media. And he had to do it portrait. Couldn't have done landscape, huh? All right, so we're going to introduce the rats to this guy's face. Seen that come up in other places. Yeah, he was just at the crime scene and now he's been snatched up. The Iceberg Lounge has a secret club 44 below underneath it, huh? Now, of course, if Tim Burton did this, it would be extravagantly winter themed. Yeah, it's almost surprising we didn't really have a club for Penguin in Batman Returns. Maybe, you know, have like an ice rink, all the bells and fixings, right? I have a thing about strays. That's why I took in this gal, right? Hey, how come you get to see me with my mask off? I don't get to see you with your mask off. I don't think that this Catwoman would betray Batman. And it would seem like she leaves Gotham by the end of the movie, right? I think they're going to want to have her back for the sequel. That's my guess. It's a little weird that we had this guy snatched. I don't think we really see it go down, but we kind of hear about it. Maybe it's somebody you really don't like. Film has a weird concept of a message going viral. Like, he's so dangerous. He has like a few followers. It's not that many. But they try to make him almost a villain who uses social media. Not really committing to the process of that, though. Because you don't even know that he has a gang of people helping him until the end of the movie. Oh, another clue for the Batman. You made it this far. Here's another greeting card. I've seen someone try to sell a riddle from Batman Forever on Pawn Stars, and they weren't having it. The guy wanted a pretty decent amount. I think he wanted over 10 grand. But people were not, you know, when a movie's in a series, it's hard for it to really stand out. If there was a ton of Willy Wonkas, maybe a golden ticket wouldn't be that amazing. But in this case, it was like, oh, it's a movie people have kind of forgotten about. So what? Yeah, good luck somewhere else. You know, that's pretty much what he said, what Rick said to the guy. Share my technology with you. Don't worry, it's disinfected. I think this Batman costume, it shows a lot of face. It rides up and exposes a lot of cheek. More so than I would prefer. But it doesn't look too bad in movie. I think that when I was first exposed to it, with the scenes of him riding around through, I think it was a cemetery with the motorcycle, those shots got out there, and that's where you could see that he doesn't have a cape, that they were going to be adding stuff in post. And yeah, when you get that uncontrolled look at the costume, then you have feelings about it, how your initial first impression is not going to be as strong as maybe the director intended. The club within the club. This is where all the old creepy guys go. You know, I say that this is like a far-reaching evolution for the GoPro, this camera that is a contact lens, but now I'm thinking about it. You watch a movie that's like 30 years old, okay? And they try to make some guesses for tech when they need to have something high tech, right? Or you watch like the first Mission Impossible film, right? 96. Try to see where they're going with some tech, or they have a few things that we don't have yet still. The face maker, for that matter. That's very much on the end of sci-fi suspension of disbelief sort of stuff rather than even feasible. But maybe we could have these lenses, and possibly if the quality of which shown in the movie, you know, in 30 years time or something. And kids look back on this like I look back now on Batman 89, right? Hey, aren't you the kid from Lord of the Flies? He just gave her one contact, right? So if she goes to the bathroom, she can cover one eye. I'm more curious how he's picking up the sound. It can't be from those contacts. There has to be something else on her. And good luck getting good sound from voices in a club. You dirty rat. Who's the rat? Kind of weird we got this gal with the red wig walk over here and just ask a bunch of questions. Oh, it's the Jesus. Are you my daddy? You get some weird incestuous vibes out of this. Like maybe he's kind of got some plans to go somewhere with her, even though because she doesn't. Is it the case where he doesn't know she's his daughter, but she thinks he is her dad, and there's a confrontation? It went down when I had to go pee in the theater. See, why would removing the contacts stop even the audio feed? You'd have to have her mic'd up separately. There's no way you're getting microphones on the lens. In the club, you said you liked him. Guy's being a reasonable dude. Man, I got some good popcorn here. I hope you guys watch movies with popcorn. I got re-addicted to popcorn with Shazam. From Shazam forward, it's just like, I gotta have popcorn if I'm gonna watch something. I'm sorry. Doing one of those audio cue tricks from The Dark Knight where it's the sound intensifies to build up and then boom. Okay. Come on, you got to get him off that horn quicker than that. You're drawing too much attention. Gil, things are not looking good for you. Oh, old Gil over here. Isn't there a guy on The Simpsons? Old Gil's finally got a shot. Like some old guy who's just kind of like world worn, I guess. Well, we got elongated shot out of focus. Okay. And still the audience persists. I think Matt Reeves had a long enough track history of drawing a profit on his films that there was leeway to let him have his vision. All right, almost an hour down. I think this movie has a severe pacing issue. It feels like it starts and stops so many times that I was trying to guess when is the optimal time to dart to the bathroom that I'll miss the least. I have a source, right? Of course, we kind of got get the DA out of the picture here so that we can introduce Harvey Dent, potentially. Oh, but working on the Batmobile. You won't be too disappointed when you see this thing. Much more muscle car inspired. And it doesn't do anything too fantastical. It's not a tank. I don't like the Batmobile being a tank. I prefer it to be more of a car. I mean, it does some impressive stuff. It just doesn't do anything too sci-fi outlandish. I think it's well used. A rat with wings that could be the Batman. I mean, that's kind of what I was thinking the whole time. Though I do think people refer to pigeons as a rat with wings, right? Oh, a question mark. How did two people making a sign off the cuff like this make the exact same question mark? By hand. I don't think that is a normal. I don't think the Corvette 427 Stingray is this. Is that a 420 or is that a split window? I need to look at it again. That wasn't a convertible, was it? If it's a split window, I don't think it's a 427, but it's got these vents in the hood. I don't think those are from the factory. Who's his date? Can't tell. It is a split window. I got to look those up, see if they have those hood vents the way that did. I don't think so. The girl's not who I thought it was. Now, drawing from the Hush inspiration here, you have like the story of, oh, your dad did some surgery. There's a doctor element. Of course, John Turturro here, he's a rather serious Italian mobster type crime family guy. The early Batman comics, he dealt with crime families before getting to supervillains. And we had a little bit of crime family stuff happening throughout Batman movies. Really, there's a mobster angle in the 89 film, more so in Batman Begins. Really, the mobster is just so kind of a byproduct of what's happening in the city, whereas he's really messing with the League of Shadows. And mobsters return for The Dark Knight. Bella Real. This is somebody that you're going to have to keep an eye on. I think it would have been an interesting twist had she been somewhat behind or involved with the crimes. Pretty convenient. The guy you're running against gets killed. Kind of makes becoming mayor easy, and she gets to become the mayor. But we're not going to have a, BIPOC woman as a villain in a movie for quite a while. I have to represent, right? I'll be the upstanding beacon of light, all that, right? It's interesting how this guy was treating Batman like trash, but hey, it's Bruce Wayne. Cool. If you only knew. It seems like Bruce is making things a little easy for them. Potentially, the way he's behaving raises a lot of flags. It can make it easy for people to guess he's Batman. Gotta watch the crime scene, huh? Of course, as Bruce Wayne here, he's quite hindered. He can't rush up there and get this guy. Ah, poor Gil. Things aren't looking good for Gil. Taped it in my hand. I have to answer it. I'm not so sure the guns need to be raised over here. Is it not apparent that this guy is being manipulated? The bomb squad robot. What will those look like in 30 years' time? Of course, now that everybody has left, time for a costume change. We can get Batman back on the scene. Of course, he's quite lumbering and noisy. How long has this phone been ringing? Now, the collar bomb, this has been used before. There is a guy. They have a docuseries about this on Netflix. I think, actually, Netflix true crime documentary series play a big part in inspiration for this movie. Pizza delivery boy or guy has to rob a bank with the bomb collar over his head. If he doesn't follow the chain of trails to disarm it and put the money in the right spot, the cops get on him anyway, though, so his head blows up because he never finished the job, right? And I think they actually had that on TV of it happening. No one really has the uncut footage, or they do, but you can't really tell what happened. It's, not nice. But I'll bring up another Netflix true crime docuseries in due time here. I'm telling you, it's a little too weird. Everybody is drawing the question mark like his. I don't like Paul Dano. I'm sorry. But I think he's kind of a weak link here. He just doesn't seem that threatening. And I think at points here, he goes a little too far and things get maybe unintentionally funny. He's trying hard to be threatening, and as such, he's going over the line. It can be cruel, poetic, or blind. But when it's denied, it's violence you may find. Adam West Batman could really do these riddles fast. It was, you'd have to have the answer beforehand. Justice. I don't mind our Pat's Batman voice. He knows he had to reel it in, right? If you're just as plain alive, what is the price for your blind eye? How much is the price of your bribes? Oh, he's making him confess. Of course, he said there'd be 3 riddles, and he hears all 3 of them. You don't say there's 3 and he loses on the first one. A vermin you paid to protect. Which vermin? The rat? What's the name of your informant? I hate this where it's like, it's so much bigger than you can ever imagine. This goes so deep. Yeah. Just tell us, like, how deep can this go? Like, I mean, we have an imagination of how far deep it goes, right? Just bring in everybody. Expose the truth, whatever. Don't tell me how deep it is. Explosion knocking Batman backwards. Yeah, teetering on the edge of possibly unintentionally funny. All right, we want to render first aid, but we understand you probably don't want this costume removed. I don't like this cop. The guy is like hoarse from yelling. Accusing me? You accusing me of something? Well, you don't gotta call him chief. Of course, Gordon here, he's not quite Commissioner Gordon yet. I don't think so. I mean, we really got this guy calling all the shots here. Trying to talk with his mouth closed just about, so these guys can't hear him. And this guy, the one that you threw a pipe at him when he pulled a gun on you, he may be crooked. Hey man, you told me you're gonna sell that punch. The police precinct looks very much like Raccoon City's, doesn't it? Like you see the hallway and you're kind of thinking, hey, there could be zombies here. Pats, you sound a little hesitant. You have a little fear of heights there. Of course, a different approach to the wingsuit. Sometimes it's, hey, we came up with we techno-babbled away into saying the cape makes for a glider. But here he actually inflates up like a wingsuit, like pulls some cords and bam, wingsuit. And it doesn't go that well. Yeah, we CGI'd some of the crash, but it could be worse, right? I don't mind it. And you'll be limping after that. None of these other cops want to think that maybe we should go to where the bat signal is emanating. That would be the place to find Batman. We are looking for him right now. Quite a few meetings at the okay, so is this the second meeting at the signal? We have at least 3 because eventually Catwoman gets brought in. Trying to think if we even got 3 of them throughout from 89 to Batman and Robin. Because with some of them, it's like the signal either means you have to go to business, hey, something's going down, we need your help, or does it mean we want to talk? Which is it? I think in Batman Forever, it's kind of both. Because doesn't Chase Meridian use it to like, hey, I want to talk and show you my lingerie? I think that happens. And at the beginning of the movie, the bat signal's up in the air when the bank's being robbed. But kind of since then, the bat signal in the more grounded movies has simply meant this is the way we contact you. We're about to get a pretty exciting point in the film here with the car chase. Does she have a whip? What is that? Twin War 1 grunts, it says in subtitle. It seems like a chain, the way it's making noise. You call me Bat Boy. Uh-oh. Well, you found your friend. This bat suit takes bullets pretty well. Never advise the horizontal holding of the gun like that. Not for a handgun. Hi, what is that? It's the Batmobile. It looks like a demolition derby project car, muscle car inspired, a rat rod of sorts. Well, I don't think it's half bad. It does kind of seem like the engine died, though, the way it kind of spurts forward and then stops. I don't really like that. It's like, what happened? You have a problem with your carburetor? Like, what the hell? Well, and snatch at least one bag of cash. It says heroic music playing. It's very into the trumpets. I like this chase. It's not too much. It's a fairly straight line highway type chase. A few obstacles, but we get pretty creative with the camera work. A lot of it's inside the car. I think seeing the camera based inside the car does bring to mind Seven, especially in the rain. Camera's like you're riding along with the camera is mounted on the vehicle, or it is, in the camera car is nearby. Not a lot of aerial stuff. Your SMG's not doing a whole lot over here to my windows. Playing chicken with the Batman. And here we go. We're driving the wrong way on the highway. What we got here? 4 or 5 lanes? And this looks really good. I'm sorry, there's not a lot to say here when you're enjoying the movie and, you're not roasting it by any means. The Maserati Quattroporte versus... I said Maserati, didn't I? Maserati Quattroporte versus the Batmobile. Of course, with traffic being what it is, you'd think this chase would come to an end pretty quick just based on possibility of gridlock. Now, I'm sure a lot of this they had to use some computers for, but as you make decent enough advances, you don't have people losing the film. They don't say, "Oh, it looks like a cartoon when this happened," and then you could tell Batman wasn't real when he flew through the air, like things like that. You do it good, it doesn't take people out. He thinks he got him. Oh, yeah. It's too bad this was in the trailer because it kind of ruins the moment. Like, okay, cut right there, sure. The car comes flying out of the fire. That's badass. But then you have in the trailer, or at least the TV spots in the marketing mix, you have the car getting flipped over, and Batman comes and walks over to him. And then with him upside down and with Batman approaching, you know he has to get in that position somewhere in the movie. So it kind of ruins what's going to happen. You already know what's going to happen. And we did see there, it looked like that was Selina's motorcycle that spun. Like you could see a wheel turn, and it looked to me more like a motorcycle than the Batmobile. Right as this guy was flipping over here, but... Oh, you're going to have to talk. Did you put a bag over his head because he didn't need him seeing the interior of the Batmobile? It might give away too many clues. Of course, sticking with the same rules here, was it Colin Farrell was a villain in Ben Affleck's Daredevil. Was his name Deadshot? Or is Deadshot DC? It was something. He had like a bullseye on his forehead. They do. He does get called the Penguin. No one calls him the Penguin here, but the way he's cuffed, and he kind of waddles when they're kind of done with him here, you get the impression, oh, you're walking like a penguin. I think someone even mentions it. Oh, it does sound like a bat. URL. He's giving me the domain. Let's go to his domain. Now, I'm not going to stick around for the end of the movie, post credits, but you do get a question mark, like found on this guy's website here. And that's really all you have for the post credits stinger sort of thing. Oh, so people do refer to Oswald as the Penguin. All right, we got to go to the orphanage. They've solved these riddles pretty quick. All right, he's going to waddle. There we go. Yep. And that got a little bit of a smile, you know, a little laugh out of the crowd. No guns. I don't know why he needs to tell the cop no guns. That seems a little weird. They're not exactly as protected as Batman. Oh, looks like we left some clues. I want to make sure you guys find what I set up for you. Here's an arrow. Drop heads. Now, is that a sling here for a in-universe drug abuse thing they have going? The fentanyl of the Batman? No, they're taking the eye drops. You don't want to ask anyone if they saw a guy setting up a projector? The Gotham Renewal Fund, which will be mismanaged, and we're all going to dip our fingers in. Sins of the Father. Is he talking about Batman this whole time? Nah, he can't be. He seems to be so in denial about. I mean, the clues go to Batman, and he wants you to find out why he's going to be targeting you, right? No, Alfred, watch out. It says it's to Bruce Wayne, but I'm going to open it because that's what butlers do. For Bruce Wayne's eyes only, huh? Oh, well, I think I'll open this one. You getting sexy used panties in an envelope here? Is that what this is? It's kind of warning you. It's for the Batman. Why do I need something fireproof? He switched. See, he talks to her in Bruce Wayne voice. All right, too late. You should have used the fireproof shielding first. But he did throw it away before it exploded. Expected that to kill the Batman. I'm assuming. There might have been enough evidence they're not blown up, not set on fire to get the police to thinking maybe Bruce Wayne's Batman. Honestly, yeah, our Pat's near not really the yoked out Bruce Wayne Batman of Affleck. I mean, the way he put on some muscle, quite different. All right, we got ourselves our big board on the ground. How can we link these guys up? Aren't you supposed to run string on a cork board? Then you have to kind of like cut the string and pin it. Have you ever done that? Let me know in the comments below. Have you ever done the cork board thing? Try to solve the mystery. You draw the lines. Best I've done is the Sudoku puzzle. In fact, when it comes to Sudokus, I feel like I created writing in the corner, like along the inside of the space, what is going to be eliminated. And the possibilities and stuff, yeah. Like, oh, it could be a 2 or a 3. Okay, then a 2 or 3 here, right? Well, I have my hangout. And here's where she, interjects the modern politics. So, Catwoman's really a social justice warrior? It's a shame this movie looks so bad on Prime Video. You tell me why he owes you money. Oh, he's your dad. Okay. See, I thought you gave a really good hand job. "44 Below," your mom worked there and then you got born. Club's been around for a while. Does he know you're his daughter? That's the thing. I mean, the way he was kind of got his hands on her is a little sus, right? Don't tell her who you are. Remember your vengeance, right? Oh, did she put on some extended fingernails here? So the cat has claws? I don't think she scratches anybody. Oh, all anyone cares about are these white privileged assholes. You want to bring up toxic masculinity also while we're out here, or trans rights? I mean, I'm so glad that in this city I have the option for an abortion. Like, say something like that. Oh, kissy time. I'm telling you, those ears are too far back. Check out some old Thomas Wayne archive stuff, right? ...2001 campaign video. Makes you wonder how old Bruce Wayne is supposed to be here. Because Arbats, he's not far. He's like a year and a half younger than me or something. So if his dad's running for office in 2001, I mean, he would be much bigger than a little boy at the time that would happen. Oh, it says hush. You saw it? It said hush right there. We're doing the hush thing. The hush villain knew of Batman's family secrets. Well, it sounds like you want to go after Batman and you want to go after Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne knocks on the door like he's a druggie. This is right about the time I had to go take a leak. And I know there was a bit of a confrontation and a fight. I think he put some stuff in like a bag somewhere, and I was just like, "That's it. I'm out. I have to go do this." And then I come back, and my mom's like, "Oh, you missed the part where he did a cool thing when the guys were shooting at him." Is Penguin making those kind of sounds? The throwback Penguin noises, I think. Hey man, reporters got dirt. You got to do something about that. You know what I mean? Could work out really bad for them. Your father was dirty, or at least that's what I'm saying. Of course, you know, with the timeline, his dad's ran for an office 2001. But the Joker movie looks very much set in the late 80s. Just it wouldn't really add up. All right, maybe we're not quite on the part where I had to take a leak. Because it's kind of like now we have to go back in and out of the club, in and out of the club, in and out of the meeting spot. But when he comes back to the club, that's when he is geared up, and I'm like, I've been holding this for too long. I mean, you've been holding it for a while in a movie. That's about all you can think of. Doing better here because these IBC bottles, they're not, you know, a big gulp. Ah, yes, I'm the Alfred who doesn't say anything poignant and goes through your mail. Try to build up this mystique of his father to make him seem like such a great guy. Oh, your father made a mistake. He was just a reporter. Chill out. Do we not see a Salvatore Moroni in this movie? Because it was Falcone that is John Turturro. When it's just some random act outside the theater that got your parents. Well, we can assume it was Falcone then. How about that? Or maybe it was a random thing. Yeah, let's not have you go around getting vengeance on everybody. I guess Maroney was taken out by Falcone before the events of this film, and to kind of just mention, it's a little on the convoluted side. Talking about characters that aren't here, that we weren't introduced to. You felt you mastered fear? You looked kind of scared when you're jumping off that building. But I'm guessing in the sequel, he's going to fly really well. The background is just flickering, bouncing between these muddy gray colors. It looks like this has gone through some kind of bad filter, or like almost like a Sega CD rip. I don't know if you recall the cutscenes on Sega CD. Yeah, Prime Video is really letting me down here. But we want you to charge. Hey, if you pay $2.99, you don't get any commercials interrupting your movies next year. All Prime Video needed to do is just hold out, just operate at a loss a little bit while everybody else goes and adds ads to everything, and people get fed up and come to you. That's all you got to do. And okay, I've lost count on the meetings at the Bat Signal. It's a lot. I think this might be the fourth one. It's like, okay, he brings Catwoman there. Now Catwoman knows about it, so now she's over here. It's the cop who pulled the gun on me at the club. Well, you got to earn your passport back, huh? Of course. Some drops thing. I think the drops are. This is some drug thing going on that we don't really see. Maybe they had to skirt the issue, kind of edit it out to get that PG-13. Uh-oh. My mom was found strangled. Could it have been my dad killed my BFF and my mom? A falcon has wings too. What? Falcone is the rat? Huh? Well, this guy's name's Kinsey. Kinsey doesn't have wings. Well, this guy spills the beans good. The renewal fund. That's we dip our hands in the charity. She really does refer to him as Vengeance. Nope, doesn't have wings. Needs to be rescued. Of course, that frees up a window of opportunity there for Catwoman to exit. Bring the rat into the light. That's what he does. Dogs next door still barking. Goodness sake. She just wants the rat dead. Batman now has to save this guy who may be responsible for his parents getting killed. Oh, you can talk to me alone all you want, sugar. Here we go. Knock on the door. These twins. Here we go. Well, man alive, have we revisited locations in this movie. Yeah, right as he's kind of messing with this backpack of goodies, that's when I had to dip. Can't find my friend Annika, even though I know she's dead. And a gun. Ah, Batman's interrupting things. Cool looking industrial place he's got. I hope they released the tape. Release the voicemail. Some drops thing. I think we should have saw what drops do. Somebody taking drops instead of just seeing some of those guys and calling them drop heads. He doesn't know. Oh, Catwoman, you're not a good shot. Oh, unfortunately, this movie's going to look really ugly in the dark here. Some okay kicks. I wonder if Stunt Double did some of it. You know, when it's all silhouette. Now here's the, oh, he did a cool thing with when they were shooting at him that my mom was telling me. So I saw this with my mom and dad in theater because I thought, hey, we saw the first Batman together. Why not? And you don't get like bullet holes in this armor either. I mean, of course, look, if I knew I was going to play Catwoman in a Batman movie, I would train to be able to do the stuff. Like Michelle Pfeiffer, she became so adept with the whip. She was able to knock the heads off the mannequins like 4 in a row, and everybody was impressed. Oh, she does claw. My bad. She is Catwoman, right? Got claws. I'll be honest with you, they look just kind of like regular black gal claws that are out there these days. We're 2 hours in. This could be where the movie wraps up. We simply take this guy down. But no, we still have Riddler to deal with. Oh, you think I can be arrested? Huh? It's, you know, that typical speech. I'm never confessing to killing the Waynes. Did we bring enough cops? Goodness sake. We got what, like 40 cops just standing over here? Oh, I can afford one. Oh, he called him a rat. Now in Batman, there's Blackgate. That's a prison. And then there's Arkham Asylum. But I don't think I've heard of Blackgate until maybe the Arkham games. I'm trying to think here. I think it comes up in the Arkham games. Oh no, somebody did shoot him. Brought him into the light to get shot. That's it. You brought the rat out into the light. This would probably be a great place to wrap the movie up. Hey, that was the riddle. I brought him out to the light. You took him out. Now we're going to arrest Riddler, and there's your movie. Okay. Well, your father's dead. What are you going to do, Selena? You going to just leave town? Okay, sure. Well, I can't leave. This is my hangout, so bye. But I do like the flood stuff. Don't really care for what happened thereafter. In parts. Also find it funny how that schmuck Ben Shapiro was talking trash of this movie because Batman saves people. At the end, Batman's supposed to be fighting crime, but he's reduced himself to just being a firefighter, but just rescuing people during a flood. It's like, goodness sake, my dude. Like, he's looking for an angle. Yeah, he's not here, guys. You never really had a shot on this guy until you wanted Batman to know there was a riddle for why you're shooting him. All right, guys. This is your big revelation here. Unmasked Joker. What aesthetic were they going with when they chose the look for Paul Dano here as Joker? Does this guy remind you of somebody? Did you get the clue earlier? I said that the Netflix true crime documentaries inspired this movie. I've not seen this brought up anywhere else, but I am telling you, Paul Dano's Riddler here, based to look like Brendan Dassey of Making a Murderer. When Brendan Dassey is shown walking out with the cops arrested, he's got cops with him, and he's cuffed exactly like him, spot on. That is what they were going for. So you may have subconsciously felt uneasy while watching the movie, and this could be why. You're like, there's something off-putting about this guy. He's got a creepy vibe to him. He seems dangerous. Does he really have that thin of a neck to be called pencil neck? I think I might actually. Well, guys, in case you didn't know, it was me. I also wrote a question mark over here. Bella Real wins. And yet this isn't... No one really considers maybe she's behind it. Very much like Seven over here. Lots of notebooks to go through. One of the problems with Jeffrey Wright here, he whisper talks the whole movie. Like, I mean, you're supposed to be the boss. You command some guys, you bark some orders, something that, but a lot of I just really got to talk kind of quiet over here. Who is he? Oh, okay, fine. I think it is interesting how the villain being the orphan, I think they're taking some liberties with the whatever established origin there is for the Riddler, but he's like the opposite of Wayne, of Bruce. And in a way, he's able to weaponize the other orphans who felt left out, betrayed, forgotten about. And those are the followers he has that help him in his big scheme. It's a very animated bat we have. Now, this you got to be kind of worried about because it's like he knew he was going to get caught and he planned ahead of time to have a puzzle. That's his murder weapon right there, the chisel. Oh, wow, 500 followers. Oh, boy, this guy's dangerous. 500 curious people. And that picture of the Batman over there, that kind of looked like Keaton's Batman. The drawing. He's trying to figure out who Batman is, but he hates Bruce Wayne because of the jealousy angle, and at the same time, he can't put it together. Oh, there we go, saying you're a good cop again. Hey, that's what he said in Batman Begins, wasn't it? So I don't care for Paul Dano in this scene. He goes too far, and it's not frightening. It is just funnier than it should be. Oh, wait, I said it's sea and hell. Hey, prison can be hell. Though I guess Arkham Hospital prison is essentially hell. It's like, hey, I know who you are, Bruce Wayne. Bruce, I hate this, but Batman's like, oh, he knows. The camera sees him. Oh, he knows the secret. And he's like, oh, okay, he doesn't. Okay, what a dumbass. A week into running as mayor. Oh, it's hard to be an orphan when you have $1 billion. There we go with the drop head again. How bad was this orphanage? You wake up to a rat alarm clock? He's the only one we didn't get. Oh, so you don't know it's me. Okay, gotcha. I appreciate the movie not explicitly pointing that out there and then. But the clue of saying he instead of you. I need your help. Bring down Bruce Wayne, Batman. He's got a point here. It's like the persona, he is more committed to being Batman than he is being Bruce Wayne. Oh man, we've been working together. Yeah, I give you the clues and you do the thing. Is it possible that by having Batman in the city, he inspires the criminals, as he's saying here? You inspire me to be a better criminal now. Well, very much a meme thing here. This is not how this is supposed to go. Right, okay. Wait, watch what? Well, the third act of the movie, buddy. I mean, I thought you knew, man. You're my buddy. It's black and blue and dead all over. What, you? Is there much blue there in Batman? Or are you blue from the drowning? They made me sing the song in the choir at the orphanage. I think that's the first we saw of the Batarang in the chest, the way he does this. But it's like, it's pretty cool that he makes use of the emblem. There's more symbolism behind the emblem. I don't mind it. Oh, hey, it's just the Batman. Okay, my bad. I'll be going now. Yeah. It's amazing the authority Batman has by being outside the law. Okay, so he's been killing people with these tools. What's he have these tools for? He's been doing things with their intended purposes. What do we got? There's something up with the carpet. So in a way, Batman, he had all of his puzzle pieces laid out on the floor too, right? His big master plan mirrors what we saw in Batman. Well, he didn't put up the cork board with the red string, yarn, or whichever. Don't forget the cling wrap, ready to go. Stand by and stand down. You know, it could be something they, if they wanted to inject another angle in there. Why lean forward and pick up the camera? You had it on the tripod or something. Why install lights on the big board there in the floor? That's a little much effort. Yeah, we're gonna car bomb the wall, the dam, flood the city. I mean, okay, it accomplishes something in the short term, kinda. I mean, this is a pretty decently done plan here as far as causing some chaos. You know, let the water do the work, right? At the same time, it looks pretty good. And I don't think it's that easy to get a good flood in a movie. Don't forget the cling wrap. What do you need cling wrap for? I don't know, he wants them to cling wrap their hair for some reason. One of us. One of us. Shoot whoever forgot the cling wrap. His voice is getting too screechy here. Don't like. And he's not doing the cryptic voice thing when he's talking to his fans. I'm just trying to get out of town, man. No, you actually had to yell quiet. Way to go, Gordon. Hey, everyone, load up into Madison Square Garden. Oh, do we got a shot on her? Just about. I'm way too observant. I noticed there were guys hanging out about on the scoreboard. Trying to think if I've seen this Real actress somewhere before. I'm not afraid. That's why I was just elected. I shall talk to my people. Bringing the rat into the light. There's a ample amount of positive black role model sort of stuff going on. None of these bad guys are black, are they? None of these Riddler ruffians. I don't think any of them are black. We don't have any black guys in the club fighting Batman or nothing. Of course, Italian mobsters, they didn't have a lot of black guys volunteering. It's a pretty good fight. I like how he's subduing these guys by just knocking them off this thing and having them kind of suspended. Of course, he seems to have some confidence that they've got a good anchor point. He's not wearing cling wrap. Get him, boys. Now, Catwoman will get in here and, oh yeah, it's not Batman's doing that these guys fall to their death, but she will get in here and up and murder a guy to save Batman. We're knocking the panels out of the scoreboard. That's cool. It's a ladder. I can climb that, even with my nails. Of course, now all these missed shots are surely having a negative effect on the innocent bystanders below. I mean, I'm just assuming. Boom. Oh, you were so bulletproof earlier, but come on. So much like barrel distortion in this, and also a very shallow depth of field whenever possible in this movie. Catwoman to the rescue. Cool, you see the flood happening into the arena. Well, it's not over yet. He's got to rescue these people. Don't tell him it's okay to pass out. Uh-oh. This one really tough guy. I wonder if Riddler's main thug over here has a name, like Riddler's top. You're my number one guy. In the credits, right? What did he take? Was that drops? Something amped him up. We're just going to kind of drop the sound out there. Yeah, I was wrong. I thought Catwoman killed a guy to save Batman. Maybe that happens in a sec. I don't know. All right, glad you're alive, but you didn't need to keep punching the guy, maybe? I don't know. But then again, he shot you in the chest and he almost died. I can kind of understand it. All right. Unmasked. I'm vengeance. See, these guys, it's possible that Batman inspired the bad stuff by having a Batman. More bad things happen in your city. It may be. Now, I felt that way with the Avengers movies, because it's like if we didn't have the Avengers assemble and bring Thor here and all this other stuff, the big bads of the galaxy and the universe would not be so inclined to visit Earth. This is a pretty good looking flood effect. I'm sorry, but what else was up for a nomination on special effects? It was probably, you know what? I didn't look, but did Top Gun Maverick win sound stuff? Because the first Top Gun, I think, got a sound and a best song. Okay, Batman's plan here doesn't really work. Like, I don't fully understand why he needed to cut this. He could have cut like just below where he is and then not fallen, but instead he cut above where his hand is. So, but I guess if he cut that and then was still hanging there, he could have swung around a little bit and maybe climbed up in some fashion. But I don't know. Did he? They tried to make it almost seem like he was sacrificing himself, though maybe he was quite assured that the water was deep enough that he'd be able to survive the fall. I do like all the red that we get in this movie, and the poster is really badass. I've been thinking about getting it. I have a, 24-year-old poster of "The World Is Not Enough" on my wall. And I was thinking that maybe it's time to switch it out because the Batman poster with the red and like red rain falling around him, I thought it looked badass. It goes for about $60 now on Amazon. Probably could have snatched him up, very cheap when it was a promotional item for the movie back during the release. Now they'll only get more expensive, but yeah, I haven't ruled out doing that yet, honestly. Got a few other priorities, less aesthetic stuff to take care of. But we're looking at a good mic arm. The good ones cost $400 for starters. So right now I'm using something else because a previous mic arm I had a year ago, it crashed and brought down a lot of my equipment. Somehow didn't damage anything else, but that's why you have to pay 400 some bucks for the mic arm. Are we pissing off Ben Shapiro here? I mean, Batman was doing everything he could to fight crime and then save the people. He didn't say, oh, well, I'm tired of fighting the bad guys, so I'm just going to work on saving these people and then let the police do what they're, given the authorization to do. He didn't say that. But, of course, the way Ben Shapiro wants to contort facts. Back to Kurt Cobain. I'm not sure how they did the, these B-roll flood things either. I mean, I guess they could have brought a tank in. And obviously, some of it you're going to have to use some computer. Penguin's still dry. Someone will seize control. Looks at the penguin. Guess the assumption here is that Penguin returns for the sequel. Rescue efforts from the roof of the arena, and oh, poor Batman, he's out there dirty and rescuing people. You reduced our crime fighter to just some kind of fetch quest hero of rescuing stuff. My daughter's trapped over there. Can you go get her? Okay, fine. It has to become more than just vengeance. Don't worry, you got this. Man, in the event of this, I hope that I don't have to pay the bill for like the what do they call it when they have the helicopter ambulance? I mean, just to lift y'all. Everybody's getting lifted. I don't want to be the one paying the like $2,000 for the angel lift or whatever they call it. Do not like this scene. So our criminals over in Arkham are making friends with other criminals in Arkham. Barry Keoghan here is I thought my initial thinking was maybe he's Two-Face because he's so severely scarred on one side that seems to be in line with a Two-Face description, but it's more like he's supposed to be the Joker. It's like, where you a clown? Okay, see, like things like that. But I don't like the way he looks as Joker. Then again, first impression of Heath Ledger's Joker, didn't really like the way that looked either, and neither did most of the internet, if you remember. It was not well received. Like, what's this sloppy thing? He's can't even get the lipstick on right. He's patchy white spots, makeup. What's with that? And I think this is so corny also. It's like a supervillain laugh to play us out. Ha 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 ha. Ha ha ha. Spoofed on Austin Powers. See, look how mangled up his face is. That's a Two-Face characteristic. All right, got a riddle for you. Love them riddles. Can't resist this one. Oh, I'm a friend. Yeah, he gave me a riddle, so now I'm friends with him. But this guy wanted to be one of the Eternals, so he should be disqualified from being the Joker. Yep, just laugh to play us out to the credits. Okay, yeah, it's corny. Oh, right, yeah, I forgot. We gotta have Wright off from the crypt over here. This is when they part ways here. I was kind of like, oh, it's kind of like a weird downer ending on a rom-com of sorts, where it's like they don't get together, but then you think, she'll be back. This made money. I like bloody. I have to try it, mate. He's like, but no, really, I have to. But I have to try to fix it. And it's not going. Everybody's a jerk, but I have to. No, you don't. They don't appreciate you. I'll try harder. No, please, just leave. If you watched all of the Batman movies, you'd probably come to the conclusion that Batman should actually leave Gotham. Like, you've wasted way too much effort trying to fix these broken people. It's a bigger thing than the Batman. It's over. You can't fight all the crime and fix everybody's problems so they don't become a criminal. Man, the likelihood of a Batman on Catwoman sex scene happening in the sequel, I would say, is extremely high. Well, yeah, I mean, she was probably planning to take care of herself anyway. But now that you said so, I'm sure she will definitely take care of herself. Now, Batman's version of a motorcycle, don't super care for it, but it's not too over the top. You would just about think it was anybody else's motorcycle. Here's the CGI cape. And they did okay. I mean, this is far more convincing of a CGI cape than what I saw Affleck toting in The Flash at the beginning of that film. Of course, it might help that our color palette here is very natural, very muted. Well, this is where we go our separate ways, cat. Sorry, but I gotta stay by the cemetery. Maybe he's thinking she'll be back. They always come back. Music build up. Yeah, an ending flourish there. And that was the Batman. What do you guys think about this one? Where does it rank in the Batman films for you? I think it's a fairly strong outing. You know, we've gotten to where we've gotten to have a number of bad Batman films, haven't we? Let me know in the comments below. Till next time, adios.